Welcome back. We will continue developing Pixel Art Academy. Of course, I did actually release a game update since the last video. It was the Steam Cloud update, so just technical stuff. I didn't want to record a devlog, but for those of you who've been waiting, Steam Cloud is now available. But today we are going to go into the next big project. So we've done the simplification tutorial, we've done the pixel art size tutorial, we've done the readability challenge where you're testing how good you are at making things small pixel art. And now we're gonna go into a game project where you will draw things for chess. Yes, chess, if you think about it, the pieces are such an abstraction of what they're trying to represent. And not only that, when you then go to actual 2D pieces, that's even more simplification using symbolic language. There's also so many different styles of how the pieces are represented. Not only that, you can even go crazy. There's all these fantasy chess sets with actual little warriors, or look at that, there's even Mario chess. So you can unleash your creativity here and draw different pieces for the white and the black side. And it's a very 80s thing. Back in the days, when you got your home computer, you wanted to see how smart it is. Can it beat me in chess? There were so many chess games around. But the way we're gonna go about it is a little bit different. You're gonna be making art for a Pixel Touch program called Chess Academy. And it's gonna be a little bit like Pixel Art Academy, where you unlock things in small increments, step by step, and just like that you will have to draw pieces one by one. So at the start, Pixel Touch will taunt you to defeat the chess, but you're not going to have any pieces, so you're gonna have to buy them in the shop. But as soon as you buy one, you will get this error saying that the file was not found, the art is missing, and then you will have to go back into your drawing board, draw the white pawn, draw the black pawn. After you come back, you will be able to complete lessons about pawn, just so that you know how the piece moves if you've never played chess. And completing the lessons will give you more currency so you can buy more pieces. And like this, you will draw one by one all the 6 chess pieces, and then you'll be able to go and play a full game, something like this. Now I have even more ideas of where this could go, so there's a lot of task that I put in here. Because it's a bigger drawing project, we're gonna spend just a little bit more time on it than for a usual 2-week development sprint. So much to do, so little time, so let's get right to it. Here we are, not even a week later, and we have the chess game going. We can draw our pieces. We got our little first tasks. We need to buy a pawn in the Pixel Touch app. Here we have Chess Academy. Let's take a look. And yes, the Pixel Touch is taunting us if we can beat it at chess. And yeah, we won't be able to do that without any pieces. So here we have bought 0 out of 16 pieces, and we have 1 pawn coin currency. So we go buy, and at the start you see here are the costs of different pieces. We have just 1, so we can only afford the pawn. Let's buy it. And then boom, here the system error occurs. Found white pawn, so we can't continue until we draw the white pawn. And now as we go into the drawing app, we have the project Chess 2D here. We have the white pawn to begin with, the simplest of the chess pieces. So this is just gonna be a pawn, so let's start with a little sphere on top. We're just gonna do something like this. It's gonna look even nicer if you also do another white outline. So here we have our white pawn, and then as soon as we're done with this one, we also get the black pawn to do. And now this is a black variant, so I don't want to be drawing the whole pawn again. So as a starting point, you can copy the white pawn artwork using the option below. So if I do this, I just get my white pawn, and then I can leave that outline on so that it will stand out, especially for black pieces, right? If I was just to do this kind of a thing, if there was no white outline, this would just kind of get lost much more. So yeah, something like this. Here we have our little pawns, and when we head back into the Chess Academy, there we go. Here's our first pawn we bought. Now fortunately, now we don't have currency to buy more pieces. There will be lessons that you should start by to earn more currency. Right now we're just gonna cheat currency. Let's just give ourselves $100. So if we buy more pawns, you know, they appear here. Then we also can go to other pieces like knights. And again, the game will crash because the knights are this time not found. And this time We also have a copy option. So, you know, if we want to start from the base of how the white piece kind of looks like, so we can just make a little bigger piece. I guess it could have some ears. And this isn't the best. I hope if I have enough time, I would add in a little magazine down here that would have some articles about how chess pieces look like, so you have some reference. There's so many different styles. Just something to get you started on, but of course you are completely free to work on this any way you want. Again, for the black variant, we can just copy this one and then go in and do a, I don't know, do we give him an eye? Or we can just be like this. And I'll just go ahead and buy all the pieces. And I'm just doing something quick here. I'll put in more effort next time. Some sort of a seashell thing. Here we go. Here's our army. We can go into play mode. There we go. The full chess game. I don't actually know what's the best way to play, so I'm also looking forward to all the lessons. You can drag and drop like this, or you can click at the start and at the end. You can go back in time to see the other positions. There's still some features missing. Yeah, there's no time, and there you should also be showing off which kind of pieces were already taken. I really have no idea if I'm doing anything good here. Anyway, that's just for you. Here we have just, you know, if you're not happy with some of your art, of course you can go in and change it around. So hopefully I can get better at chess by using Chess Academy. Yeah, there we go. Checkmated. Pixel Dodge got the best of me. So yeah, next up is the lessons tab, where you will be able to learn how the pieces move, get some currency, and just get this progression of slowly unlocking the pieces going, so you don't have to draw everything at once. All right, lots to do, so little time, so let's get back to work. Welcome back. We have the next piece of the puzzle done. Back in Chess Academy. Now it's actually gonna be Academy. Let's do this again. Buy our first pawn. We now have a bunch of lessons. Some of them are locked because we require more pawns or other pieces to do promotion, but we can go into each one of these ones. Pawn movement, we get this very educational UI. Pixeltosh teaches us the pawn advances one square at a time. Move the pawn and we can move it like this, or we can click and click. Reach the target. Well done, complete the lesson. Now at this point we will get one currency that's left to be done. So each of these lessons will get you more and more further ahead. They're also, everything is done so that if you make any mistakes, so here if I don't capture and I go forward, like it gives you some extra explanation and then rewinds to the previous position so you can try again. And yeah, there we go. I'll quickly give myself a bunch of money. All right, now that I have my whole army over here, I also have all of the lessons for all of the 6 different pieces. Each piece gets introduced into what kind of movements it can make, how the piece can capture other pieces, what kind of bonuses it has, like the knights can jump over stuff, while the rooks can't and would have to go around, making sure that you don't blunder your queen. And then once the king comes into play, of course, also how to get all the way to checkmate. Sometimes the AI will also play so that you can try and play around with and get through different situations you might encounter in the real game. And yeah, after you will have the whole army and kings and learn how to checkmate, you will be able to go to play and finish a whole game. So yeah, let's go for one more week and see all of the cool stuff we can get going. Okay, so it didn't take a week, but hear me out. We have finished some really cool stuff. Like, it took a week for the small little stuff, and then I had a week when I had to do some household maintenance. But for the last 2 weeks, I've been doing this chess magazine so that you can have references for game. I don't know why I thought this would take only, you know, a few days. It takes 2 weeks. yeah, you gotta research it, you gotta find all the images, you gotta put it all in, you gotta write the articles if you don't want to have an AI written game. Just takes effort. It's well worth it, I think. It was also a lot of fun to do. So let's take a look, because you will see a lot of improvement all across the board. Load my playtesting setup, and here we go. I have all the goals working, the whole city. We can now build it up with new artworks for the little buildings. Let's take a look. First of all, we have to choose the 2D board. Yes. Here we have, can choose 3D. No, we can't. This is gonna be when we have element of art form done. So you will get to actually do the game twice in a way, 3D and 2D. This time we can do 2D, and now...
Do you think you can beat me at chess?
Oh yeah, we have the Pixeltosh speaking. This is the original Macintalk sound synthesis that was used when 1984, when Steve Jobs introduced the Macintosh. I was able to get that working so that the Pixeltosh taunts you a little bit. And yeah, you know the rest. Buy pieces, get crashed. But now when we get to chess 2D pawn, yes, there is a new thing that awaits us down here at the bottom. There is the 64 Squares magazine, a special edition about the art of the board with 3 articles. One of them will come when there's the 3D version, but chess in print and the 8-bit revolution. You will start with chess in print because you will be drawing 2D board pieces, and those are usually drawn the way they were in books. So here you get to learn a little bit of the history where the chess first appears. Look at this, look at these pieces from some 13th century stuff. And then 15th century, there's even pieces that Leonardo da Vinci himself allegedly drew, because he was hanging out with the guy who wrote this book, and they're all like golden ratio proportions and stuff like that. And then jumping ahead into the 19th century, when these pieces slowly developed into the way we kind of see them today. Of course, you can read all about it, but the most important part is the images themselves. This one is a very popular one. And just like in the pinball game, the point is you get to cut them out so you can use them as references. Finishes off with a bunch of fonts, chess fonts from Armando Hernandez Marroquin, which you will find on places like Clichess and stuff. So you can also cut some that you like. The Leipzig one is quite popular one and is similar because Leipzig itself was based on the reference that I also cut out before. So you can see here is the original article from what, 19th century, and then here's the font. You can see how, yeah, the font was actually made based on this book. So we can use this one as reference to draw our pawn over here. Something like this could work. There we go. Now we get to draw the black pawn as well. And I made it so that when you copy the pawn, you are also copying the references, because you will probably either want to stick with the same reference, or at least for maybe white and black. Although it is fun to actually change references, kind of pick and choose what your favorite pieces look like. There we go. And now we get to complete the pawn lessons just like before, but this time also we have sounds even in the chess game.
Lesson complete.
There we go. Our little Pixeltosh lets us know that we have done a good thing. I made it so that you win 2 currency. That's also new. So once you have completed stuff, it gives you this little pop-up. You win 2 currencies so that you can then buy new pieces, like the, let's go for a rook. And here you could be drawing from the same reference, but you've also unlocked a new article. As soon as you have your second piece, you will get this 8-bit revolution, in case you wanted to look at how other video games were going about it. In the 80s and early 90s, we have various video games. Here's some Commodore 64 stuff, some DOS. Maybe some of you know the Chessmaster 2000, you might have played this one. It was really fun to get all of these screenshots, see how things were done back in the past. Here you see the kind of style where you just have two colors. You might get inspired by something like this. There's also a high resolution section because the Macintosh was quite high res. You can see here, yeah, how there's this white outline around it to make it stand out against the background. And it finishes off with some of those fantasy chess pieces, battle chess, anybody knows this. We had Star Wars, so you can use this. You just snip stuff out. They will be added to your references. Feel free to choose some of them as you draw your pieces. Yeah, it's quite a nice challenge how to get all the details in. You have to decide whether you're gonna keep things centered, or you're gonna have things symmetrical, 1 pixel center, 2 pixel center, how you're gonna go about... Oh no, blundered my queen right there. Real challenge getting these small little icons readable. But I'm sure after all of the icons and the tutorials, I'm sure you will be able to get a good idea how to go about it. There we go, we can buy our king. Final piece to draw. We're almost done. Let's take a look how our study plan is developing. Yes, we've actually opened up all of the city just a little bit more. These are all new sprites for the little buildings we can do. Just the final pieces on this king.
Check.
There we go. The pixel will also announce its checks. Hopefully you will have fun doing this little small lessons. Spend some time in the chess game.
Check.
And then even deliver your first checkmate.
Checkmate.
Finally, once the king lessons are complete, you can now face the army. You can have different levels of play. And I also made it so that when you are capturing pieces, let's just demonstrate here, it'll show you the advantage you might have. And then if you trade off some different pieces, you will see that difference.
Check.
Just something like you might be used to from more modern chess sites, even that games back then maybe didn't use this exact user interface. Oh no, here we go, we got forked. And when it comes to designing your pieces, there's one more thing that I made, and that's this theme menu. You can choose what kind of color chessboard you want to have. Depending on your pieces, you might want a different vibe. And then also the interface can also be made dark to go more in line with the chessboard. I think I can only block like this.
Checkmate.
And
game over.
That's it, game over. We have done the chess project. And then of course, yes, choosing the 3D chessboard once we have form in the future, next year. Because before that, we are gonna go down to the color element of art before we go down to form. That's coming up in the future. And that's it for this update. I just gotta play test it with some people, fix some more bugs, tweak anything that the playtesters might find, and it will be available for you as you're watching this video now, already out on Steam. Super excited to now wrap up some loose ends with the shape element of art update, which will be coming up next. Have fun, see you later.